Hi, and welcome to Organizational Behavior, MBA 592. I'm Professor Michael Nugent, and I'm going to be going over this video syllabus to give you an idea of what this course entails. With this course, I utilize the electronic blackboard to administer and organize the course for you. And I try to do it in a very logical and organized way to help you navigate this online environment. The first area where I'd like to talk about is announcements. This is where I put together information relevant to the course that I want to draw your attention to, or important announcements to highlight the activities and due dates or things that you'll be working on for the entire course or the next upcoming week. The first thing I posted here was announcements. So I wanted to give you a course overview of organizational behavior. Now our session is going to be starting in July and ending in August. So we have 6 weeks of coursework to do. And in the beginning, the first thing I put down is the video syllabus, which of course you are currently watching. And I draw your attention to always review assignments and discussion as your first two big areas that you should be checking on a constant basis. So I'm going to go over each of these separately. The assignments tab in the Blackboard is where we're going to post all of the quiz links and homeworks, and discussion tab on the Blackboard is where we're going to post all our course discussions. You can watch a YouTube video on how to complete the discussion board assignments, and this I highly recommend. It's about a 15-minute video, but it's going to go over in depth how to complete the discussion boards in the best way possible. It goes over how to create a thread, how to reply to a student, the format I'm looking for, and the different types of discussion board assignments that I assign each week. So this is really a must to watch to get you ready for the discussion board participation. And remember, the discussion boards is sort of the heart of this class. This is think of a normal class where you're sitting in the classroom and you're talking and discussing, and the professor is bringing up important points, and there's a lively and engaging conversation among the class on these important behavioral organization topics. Well, this is going to be simulated on the discussion board. So we're going to create a discussion environment, because a lot of what makes this class useful is our collective experiences. And discussion board is an area where we can discuss our experiences and bring in new information and ideas and sort of help educate each other in the current environment of organizational behavior. So I find it to be a very important part of the class, and a very rewarding part of the class as well. I'm moving on. These are the main assignments that I do want you to be aware of. There are 5 quizzes in the course. So in lieu of having big tests, I decided to break it down to fewer chapters into more of a quiz format. So for example, the first quiz one will only covers chapters 1 and 2. And the quiz is just a way of reinforcing the textbook and the material learned and reviewed in the textbook and in the course lectures. So these quizzes are a way to keep you grounded in the course material and keep you moving forward at a consistent pace. Okay, so then I lay out the schedule for each week. So we have 6 weeks of schedule here. And for example, in the first week, I want you to watch my video syllabus. So I provide the links here. And I highly recommend that you cut and paste the links into its own separate browser. Just highlight the link and post it into your web browser and make its own separate page. Try not to open the link inside a Blackboard. There's usually an issue or problem with that. And now all the links are going to lead you to a YouTube video. And here's an example of the discussion board directions video. And in this video is where I go over the discussion boards. Now all my lectures are posted on YouTube, and it might be the easiest thing is to subscribe to the channel. So I have a playlist for this course, and you can just subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that will include all the lectures for the course that I have set up. Okay, and I find YouTube, why YouTube? Well, I was using this ecosystem for Blackboard, but then I found out that a lot of students' computers didn't work well with the ecosystem, and the ecosystem routinely would delete my lectures without any warning. So I wanted a technology that would be useful for the students in the course. At one point, I tried to upload MP4 videos so you could just download and watch the videos, but then I found there was a problem with bandwidth of the downloading for certain students. I found that some students had problems with their video players, especially if they're watching on their iPads or iPhones or Android devices. So I found the best solution was YouTube, because that's a platform that is accessible through your iPhone, your iPads, your Android phones, your laptops, your desktops, even your TVs. So if you have a TV with a smart TV or TV hooked up to an Xbox or a PlayStation or Amazon or Apple TV, you can subscribe to YouTube, and then you can open up and watch my lectures on TV if you wanted to. So I found it the most convenient and easiest source with the fewest amount of technical problems is the YouTube environment. So for class 1, excuse me, watch video lecture, the video syllabus, of course, which you're watching now. Video lecture 1, it's the introduction to organizational behavior, and video lecture 2, which is chapter 2 of organizational behavior, and answer this week's discussion questions. So that's the basic. Now this is the class schedule. It doesn't include the assignment schedule. So this is just our classwork. So when I give a class schedule here in the announcements, this is what you're expected to do that you would have done if you came to class. Remember, the class, if you were in the summer, the class would be twice a week, a Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, for I believe 3 or 3.5 hours. So this is in lieu of the classwork, which you'll be listening to my recorded lectures and then participating in the discussion questions. So the idea is that if you were coming to class, I would be lecturing to you in the classroom, and then we'd be having class discussions during the course as well. And then this just continues for all the weeks. So you can see I follow the chapters in order up until chapter 11, and then I skip up until chapter 15. Okay. Now let's move away from announcements and let's go to documents. So what do you find in documents? Well, you will find the PowerPoints. And these PowerPoints are the PowerPoints related to the chapters I'm going over in the textbook. And you will also find the syllabus for the course, which I'm going to go over right now. Okay, so in the syllabus, this is the summer syllabus, and this textbook I'm using the 12th edition of Organizational Behavior. Now, the 12th edition has just ended its run, I think this month, and they're releasing the 13th edition. But it was too late for me to utilize the 13th edition for this year, so I'm working with the 12th edition. You can find the 12th edition. I've listed a couple locations. One, you can get an online version from the textbook company directly, and that's a $65 online version. And you can also, here's the link to the online version, you can also get the Amazon Kindle ebook. And Amazon Kindle is an app that you could download on any device, Android or iPad or computer. And this is the link to the ebook edition, which I think might be even cheaper than the online version. But those are two avenues for getting the electronic version of the textbook. And you can also easily buy the book from many booksellers as well. Just make sure it's a 12th edition, which is good because the 12th edition is less expensive than the 13th edition. So this textbook will be required to complete the quizzes and to follow along with the lectures, and it's part of your required reading. So each week that I go over or present a chapter, I'm expecting you to read the chapter as well as listen to the online lecture. Now this class is what we call asynchronous, which means that there's no definite time that we have to be together in one place. So you don't have to, I'm not saying that 8 a.m. on Mondays we're all going to meet and then work on something together at the same time. No, this is asynchronous, so it means I'm going to provide you with the content, and then you can access the Blackboard anytime, day or night, to complete the work and keep up with your schedule. Now, for the discussion board, I recommend and I would hope that you could log in at least 4 days a week. So for 4 days a week, try to make it sort of a morning habit. You wake up, go to your computer, you log into the discussion board, you post an original response if you need to, or you read some other students' posts and then make some replies. But you could do this at 2 a.m. or at midnight, at 1 p.m., whatever is your best time of the day to work on this. So that's the beauty of asynchronous, is that it works on your schedule. So if you're in a different time zone, or you have a complicated work schedule, you can work on this course at the best time of day for you. Okay. Course description and objectives. So what we're trying to do here is understand organizations as they pertain to business, and we're looking at the dynamics of the internal operations and workings of a company related to individuals and the behaviors of individuals and the behaviors of groups. So we're looking at the way individuals interact to create an organization. And this is a study of the basically behavior of people at work and the different topics that may come up that people encounter while they're at work. Most work environments I find are dysfunctional and slightly unpleasant. Although every once in a while you find or you create a work environment that's the opposite. So this course is really about helping us to understand the the best practices or best ways to create an environment that's very conducive to a happy and productive employees, which will lead to hopefully a profitable company. So in the field of organizational behavior, we're going to look at individuals, mostly in the business environment, but it could be individuals in other organizations, such as students in the school. And we're going to try to connect the information of different behaviors, including individual perception, motivation, leadership, decision-making, teamwork, dynamics of these interpersonal processes in this organizational context, and try to really understand how a company works. Now, think of it sort of like a psychology class for business companies. So you're studying the psychology of people who work in business. And we're trying to get the understanding and principles of this practice because it helps companies to perform better if they can create a better environment for their workers. And one of the ways to get a better understanding is to become more self-aware of you as an employee, you as a manager, your relationship with your manager, peers, or subordinates. And this will help hopefully to make a more successful and satisfying work life. So the learning goals, I have 6 learning goals, and I want to help students understand organizational behavior and the consequences of not managing a company well or managing the people of a company well. I want to provide some up-to-date, relevant, and interesting information relative to the organizational behavior field. I want to better prepare you for a work life or improve your current work life. I want to engage you actively in the learning process through the course discussions or the assignments in the class. I want to expose you to certain terminologies that are used in organizational behavior and popular literature to help you to better understand the current issues. And I want to improve your communication and interpersonal skills and give you an opportunity to contribute to discussion boards in a professional manner. So we're going to be accomplishing these goals through the chapters we cover, the quizzes that will be assigned, the homework and papers, and the organizational behavior discussion boards. So class time, the lectures will cover the information in the textbook. Discussion of articles and current events will be discussed in the discussion boards. And the video lectures will be how I will simulate a classroom lecture. So office hours are by appointment. So if you do have an issue or a question, you are always free to email me. And if we need to, we could schedule a SB Connect office hours. And SB Connect is a tool on Blackboard where it creates an environment sort of like a Skyping session or a messaging session where we could talk in more real time if needed. So just email me if you need or have questions of that type of nature. Okay, so the grading, one important thing about the grading is that I will not accept late assignments. So once the quizzes are past their due date, you won't be able to complete them, or if the paper's past the due date, you won't be able to complete it. So pay close attention to the due dates of the assignments and get them done. I would say get them done in advance. If you're the type of person who has situations with power outages, internet outages, surprise work-related travel, or just things that are usually get in your way of completing assignments on time, plan to do them, pretend the due date's 1 or 2 days earlier. So that way, if these things do happen, you do have some spare time. Waiting to the last minute to complete any of these assignments is a surefire recipe for something coming up at the last minute and preventing you from completing the assignment. So just take that into account. Now we have two big reports in the class. We have an organizational culture profile and a CEO profile report. They're both worth 15 points. We have discussion boards, which are 20 points, and then that's a total of 50 points, and then we have 50 points in the 5 quizzes for a total of 100 points. And this is how the points translate into a letter grade. Okay, so it's important that you're prepared and participate in discussion boards. The quality of the discussion boards and the contributions you make to discussion boards and to classmates are of extreme importance to me. And it's really the heart and soul of this course. And one of the things that will be the most rewarding for you in the course is participating fully in the discussion boards. And I do check the discussion boards and grade them on a weekly basis. See the video on discussion boards for more details on that. Okay. With the discussion board questions, I will post anywhere from 2 to 4 questions a week, and I expect you to make 1 original post and then up to 3 responses to other students. The one part of the discussion board are discussion of current articles. So in the video for the discussion boards, I do discuss this in more detail, but I'm basically looking for an article that's going to further our knowledge and understanding of organizational behavior in the course. And it should come from an established newspaper, business magazine, or period article. And I have a certain format of how I want you to set this article up. And I've left in an example in the discussion board of how you can create a response to the article discussion in a proper format. So you can kind of see how I kind of put one together real quick for you. Now the 2 reports, we have the organizational culture report and the CFO profile report. I'll discuss those more when we get to the assignments page. And then again, I've just listed our course schedule. Now the class schedule here, and in the syllabus, I do include the quizzes and the assignments as well as the class discussions and class lectures. So you could look through this to get an idea of what is expected in the course. Okay, so that's the syllabus for the class. Now if we go to assignments, the first assignment, of course, is the discussion board, and that's valued at 20 points. So for each week, I'll put up multiple discussion boards, and I expect you to participate in each of these discussion boards in a generous and consistent fashion. And you'll earn points as you participate and as you reply to other students. See that again, the video explains how I graded the discussion boards in much more detail. But that is 20%. Even if you participated in discussion boards in the past, or maybe in previous courses of mine, it's still useful to watch the discussion board directions, because I give a lot of more details that are specific only to this course in there. Okay, and this is just a assignment that you don't have to submit anything under assignments, so don't click on here and submit anything. It's just the directions. All the participation will be done in discussion boards. We also have these quizzes. So the first quiz that comes up is quiz for chapter 1 and 2, and it's worth 10 points, and it's due by Monday, July 20th. And you get 1 attempt at the quiz. So you want to click on the link. I'll show you that link again. Click right here on the underlined quiz link, and then click begin. And the quiz is going to come up with a series of multiple choice questions. So blank are simplified views of reality that attempt to explain real world phenomenon. So this is something specifically talked about in the chapters. So the quizzes go up to generally most of the quizzes are up to 20 questions, and when you're done you want to click on save and submit all your work. And then this will provide you with, this is telling me I didn't fill anything out, this will provide you with a score and the results. Doesn't provide me that, but for you, when you complete, you'll get a result of the quiz. And then once the quiz closes and the due date is done, you can go into Tools, My Grades, and then under My Grades you'll be able to review the quiz again and see which questions you got wrong in the quiz. It will detail the questions you got wrong and the right answers. So you can kind of review your quizzes. Now, the first paper that comes up is the cultural paper, and this is due on Sunday, July 26th at 11:30 p.m. and it's worth 15 points. So what I want you to do is select a company and read up and research this company. And we have two papers, so you should really select different companies for the focus of the cultural paper versus the CEO profile. Now, once you've researched and gathered your material, there's 5 basic questions that I want you to investigate and uncover and write about. And one is just, what is the culture of the organization? And that could be pretty involved. Then I want you to tell me how you know that this is the culture. Cite some facts or some opinions from other people and sources, and then your opinion as well of what are the signs of the culture or examples that you can give about this culture, and what caused this particular organization to have this culture. What was it, the background and history that really cultivated and established the culture of this company. Then what are the effects of the culture on the organization, the employees, and society? Address all 3. And 5, can the culture be changed? What suggestions do you have to improve this firm's culture? Now, with this paper, I expect you to write a report that is professional, at a graduate level, and is well organized. The report should include a list of sources or references at the end that are connected to the citations you make for your sources in the report. So if you cite a quote or a fact, you need to have the proper citation format, and you need to make a reference list at the end of the paper. So the paper should be about 2,100 to 2,700 words, which is usually 7 to 9 pages. That's just the minimum. You could do more than that. And I want you to attach a Word or PDF file. And how you attach the Word to PDF file, you click on the link above. So there'll be a link here, cultural paper. Click on this link, and then there'll be a browse my computer. And this is where you can submit a file, attach a file. Don't write the submission in. They have this text box available. I wouldn't suggest writing submission in their text box. Use a word processor and then save as a Word doc or a PDF and attach the whole file to this would be best. Okay. So now these are in due date order. So the next thing that's due is quiz 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, 15. Then finally the CEO profile report. Now it doesn't have to be CEO. It could be president. It could be CFO. It could be just an important leader of the corporation. So think of it as focusing on an important leader of a company. And it should be a different focus, again, on a different company than what your culture paper was about. And here you're going to give me a background of the leader. You're going to give me what is their leadership style and philosophy, what are their values, what's the person's biggest strengths, weaknesses, success, and failures. How would you describe one quantity that contributes to this leader's success, and what would it be? And what have you learned most from this leader? Now, for either of these papers, you're not limited to these basic questions. There are other important things that you can include. So if you are doing a lot of research and you find something really interesting or some other aspects that you want to cover, feel free to include this in your paper. And again, the same parameters apply, where it's going to be professionally written. You're going to have citations and a reference list. It's going to be 7 to 9 pages at a minimum, and of course you could do more pages than that. That's fine. And you attach a Word or a PDF file to the link above, and it's the same. You click on the underlined link, and you'll go down to where you see Browse My Computer, and that's when it'll allow you to connect your paper, upload your paper. Okay, so those are the assignments for the course. It's very simple. They're all in chronological order, and you use this assignments area to submit all your work except the discussion boards. You don't submit any discussion board work under assignments. You go to the discussion boards. And in the discussion boards, I have set up the forums. The first forum is where you can ask me any questions about the course. And you click on that, click on Create Thread, and you could pose your question. Maybe your question is on quiz due dates. And then you say, when are the quizzes, maybe you say, where are the due dates for each quiz? And you submit, that's your question. So then me or another teammate will see your question, we'll read your question, and we can reply and answer. And this is something that I will do. Or if and the answer is C, assignments on the Blackboard menu. Okay, and I'll submit that. So now there's a question and an answer. And if you see another student's question that you can answer, go ahead and answer it. If you get there before I do. Okay, so this is an area where you can ask me any confusing questions about the course that you think other students will find useful as well. If the question is a more private nature, you can email it to me. So the first discussion board question is Article 1, and we also have discussion question 1 and self-assignment 1. Now self-assignment, this is one area where having the 12th edition is important because I give you specific exercises and reference points from the back of the textbook. And these self-assignment discussion board questions is a way to help you become more self-aware of certain issues, elements, abilities, and ideas that can be helpful in your work life. Now, clicking on the question, I'll show you that again, and there's these back arrows here. You always want to click on the green area, which is the question. And then here you can create a thread, create your own thread. I added an example thread of an article. So if you click in here, I have the correct format and the article posted as a source. So you as a student, what you would do is you read over this post, then read the article, and then reply some comments about the article, about my post, and just sort of develop the discussion. You can ask a question to the author and they'll read. That's why it's important that if you, on your post, that you go back and read all the responses, because someone may be asking you a question directly, and sometimes I go in there and do that as well. Now again, this is just a brief overview of discussion boards. You're going to watch the discussion board directions video, which is going to go over in much more detail each of the discussion boards. And I generally have three types. I have the article, a general discussion board, and the first one's sort of a hot topic, and the discussion is right from the textbook on page 7, and the insight is called "Women Might Make Better Leaders." So this is sort of a very interesting topic to discuss. And then I have a self-assessment for week 1. So all the discussion questions are listed by week. They're set up in advance, and now I prefer you to make your original post before or on Monday or Tuesday. And then your replies Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that way, making your original posts on Monday or Tuesday will give you the ability to allow other students to read and respond to your posts. It's very selfish to make your original post on Friday and then reply to other students on Friday when the discussion board is winding down. So you want to be participating in these discussion boards 4 times a week, and that's something I monitor, and I get reports on your activity in Blackboard. You really see your level of activity and, of course, the quality of your posts. Okay, and then we have, so watch the discussion board video for much more detail on how to do well in this discussion area. Then we have our tools, which you can click on here, and this is where you can view the class grades. So if you go into tools and my grades, and this is where there's a bunch of other tools in here that you could utilize while working with the course. Okay, so that's the course in a nutshell. If you have any questions about this syllabus video or about the course in general, please address them to the discussion board forum on questions about the course. And I wish you the best in this course, and I'll be working with you shortly. Thank you and good day.